Muslim.
Joining us this morning is Cornelius Damar, who is a human rights advocate and Asian specialist with over a decade of experience in Southeast Asia. He's joining us this morning live from Indonesia, Jakarta, for the Asia Pacific Report. Cornelius, thank you very much for your time and welcome to Radio Islam International.
Yes, thank you for having me today.
It's a pleasure indeed. So, this Sunday marks 5 years since Myanmar's military seized power, ousting Aung San Suu Kyi and plunging the country into violence and repression. Millions have been displaced, basic rights violated, and a recent military run election has only deepened divisions. As Myanmar faces this grim milestone, we must ask the question: how has the military rule affected everyday lives over the past 5 years, Cornelius?
Thank you for the questions. So, 5 years after the attempted coup, the human rights and human rights situation in Myanmar has continued to deteriorate dramatically. Just as of January 2025, for example, NGO have documented the arrest of more than 30,000 individuals, including repeated arrests following release and the killing of at least 7,000 people. This figure underscores the scale of repression and the deeply entrenched culture of impunity maintained by the military junta. And moreover, the junta have proceeded with a sham electoral process or election in late December 2025 and January 2026. And according to the United Nations, the election period was marked by intensified violence, including at least 170 civilian deaths and 400 military airstrikes at least. And the UN Human Rights Office also confirmed that these attacks were supported by credible sources and disproportionately affected civilian areas. So, in overall, the process represented a deliberate attempt by the junta to sustain its power, to fabricate political legitimacy through sham election, coercion, militarization, and systemic exclusion as well, in direct defiance of the will of the people of Myanmar.
Hmm. Can justice be achieved for ongoing human rights abuses?
Absolutely. So, despite the junta's ongoing campaign of terror and atrocities, peaceful protests, resistance, and public oppositions have continued in Southeast Asia, especially in this context to the sham election, also widespread. But these also needs to be followed by stronger international solidarity and amplification. And with this, we could achieve together, and then resistance can happen in different platforms as well. For example, Forum Asia and its network have worked together to campaign for the creation for new independent national human rights institution in Myanmar so that they could be able to respond effectively to the junta's atrocity. We have also continued our advocacy for ASEAN to be more meaningful on addressing the situation of Myanmar, including the role of ICHR, the Regional Human Rights Commission, as well, to be able to receive complaints and to address the complaints from Myanmar as well. And in the context of ASEAN, one notable things that happened is we have successfully campaigned for ASEAN to not sending observer to the sham election and to focus on peace first in Myanmar. And recently as well, Timor-Leste, the newest member of ASEAN, has just launched a criminal proceeding against Min Aung Hlaing and military uh, junta officials for the war crimes and crime against humanity they have committed. And these move also joining what existing uh, criminal proceeding in Argentina, for example. And if we can create this globally as well, I think this is very possible.
Hmm. What will it take to restore peace and civilian leadership?
That is a very important question as well. But I'll go back to my point is that international solidarity, a unified approach, coherent approach as well, creating action to protect the rights and dignity of Myanmar people at the heart of any interventions is very important, and these needs to be shared either at the UN level, ASEAN level, regional level, or globally. For example, how we can have a unified call for a robust response to the worsening human rights and humanitarian crisis in Myanmar. For example, how all states can reject the military junta's illegitimate rule and sham elections under the 2008 constitutions, and then also refuse to recognize any resulting authorities based on this election, because any election conducted under coercion with exclusion of various groups, majority groups, should not be seen as legitimate. We can call this together and then convene the results together. It's very much important, and then it's very essential. And then only these there is a way to open path for restoring peace and restoring civilian leadership as well. And we also need to further demands. Uh, we need to also demand accountability for the junta's atrocity like airstrikes, the killings. Justice mechanisms needs to be upheld as well at the international level to bring perpetrator to justice. And we also need to look at how these aspect of atrocity can also affect the transnational justice situations in various regions, because what happened in Myanmar also have affected in the neighboring countries and in the neighboring region as well, and it also have an economic impact to the region as well. And last but not least, strengthening the international legal mechanisms like the ICJ, ICC proceedings. It is also very important, and it could be a tip of the iceberg of how the justice, accountability, peace can be achieved for Myanmar.
Hmm. Cornelius, thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated on Radio Islam International.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Chatting to us this morning about Myanmar as they mark the 5 year mark, the 5 year grim mark as far as the country is concerned under the junta rule. Well, we move on shortly. Just after a minute or two, we move on for our Surah Yasin. And this morning's Surah Yasin's recital will be by Sheikh Ibrahim At-Tusari.